Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It's Tuesday morning. The weather couldn't be any more different than it's been over the last couple of weeks, where we had a really nice touch of spring. Now we're back to typical British weather. But what I want to talk about in this video is the thing that everybody's talking about. It's very early, it's about 7 AM for me here as I record this, and before I came out I had a quick look at the YouTube channels that I subscribe to, and everybody is talking about this, and that is the interview with Hawkins County Detective Pruitt, who spoke to Ansley Daniel from WJHL. Well, thanks for that, you're filthy. I'm going to spend the rest of today catching up on what other creators who cover the Summer Wells case have said. But for the time being, these are just my thoughts, my opinion. You know, reading between the lines, what Detective Pruitt might have been saying. So I clipped what I deem the important parts, but WJHL is the place to go. WJHL.com. I know European people can't access that unless you have a VPN. And then WJHL's YouTube channel, they've got the full. They're not long videos, but I clipped the things that I wanted to talk about, and I've put those on my other channel, Michelle Walks. So go and check that out. Subscribe to Michelle Walks if you haven't done so already while you're over there. So Detective Pruitt said she's likely close by. She's likely nearby. He hopes she's still alive, but he has to, be realistic after all this time that she isn't. She most probably isn't. If he thinks she's nearby, then she has to be no longer in this world. As Sheriff Ronnie Lawson has said, as Leslie Earhart from the TBI has said, that they're still considering all possibilities. So even though he thinks she's nearby, they're still, taking all those credible leads that come in, and maybe one lead will come in and it will change their mind. We don't know. Now obviously this is an open and active investigation, so he's very limited on what he can say, but in saying little, like the Fruitland Police update last week for missing Michael Vaughan from Fruitland, Idaho, a little can say an awful lot. And I think that's the case here. I was pleased that he said he's not going to let this case go cold. But there comes a time when no new leads are coming in, nothing credible, and they've investigated them. There comes a time when a case does go cold. Any case would go cold. We're not there yet. I believe that we have a long road ahead. I think things that are happening behind the scenes, I've said this in recent videos, I just have that feeling, I have a feeling in my bones that something is going to happen. And it begs the question, why have they done this interview now? Why has Detective Pruitt spoken out now? That's one of the most interesting things to me, to be honest. Not what he said, but why he said it. I always go to the why. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about the motives of the crime or whether we're talking about the motives of a particular person coming out and speaking. So why now? Now obviously this is just my speculation, but the last 2 times that law enforcement have spoken out, although it's close to the 10-month mark, we're not at that 10-month mark until the 15th of April, so it's not like they're marking a particular date, as they did when Leslie Earhart from the TBI did that short piece published by the TBI. I've got it on this channel. I'll leave it in the cards, and it's only like a couple of minutes long, and that was to mark the 6 months anniversary. The TBI newsroom did quite a big update on their website just before, I mean literally days before the Dr. Phil episode aired. Oh, windy here. I'm getting the trees again. Oh, there's a dog over there. Tilly's not seen it. I don't know, you guys, because it's not marking. It just seems that... Oh, she spotted it. Tilly, come here. Tilly. Good girl. So, coming out and speaking now doesn't appear. Tilly. Come here. Come here. Cassie, come on. So speaking out now doesn't fit any known anniversary or event. Unless, as some people are saying, and I think there's a lot of merit in this, unless the grand jury are considering this case and something's going to happen legally and they're paving the way. The other reason, and I think this is more likely in my opinion, is that they want to shake up Candice. In saying that she's close by, in saying that although they're not ruling anything out, there's no signs of an abduction, they're still saying that. I think they're possibly starting to put pressure on Candice and Don from inside jail. However, it's very, very interesting that he made a considerable point to say that they've checked reams, hours and hours of evidence, interviews, surveillance, electronic data, cell data, GPS data. You know, he rhymed off a whole list. Now, that's very important. Those few sentences say an awful lot to me. You see, if they'd picked up something unusual in that data, would they tell us? No, because this is an open and active investigation. But he might have worded it differently, because what he said was, nothing's come of it. So to me, in my opinion, it says to me that the data, the cell data, the GPS data from the parents and all the main players, like H, all check out. That H was where he said he was, you know, at a park with his girlfriend, doctor's appointment, which I think is dubious, but still. And of course, the electronic data from the parents, that Candice was in the vicinity of where she said she was, based on her cell phone data. Don was where he said he was, based on the data from his good buddy Starlink and his cell phone. That's what it says to me, that if nothing's come of all of those investigations, what does it say to you? Surveillance data, it leads me to believe that they've got information that Summer was alive and well after she left the swimming hole. The TBI have always said that they want information, you know, from things like trail cameras, sightings of summer on the 15th of June. They've never wavered from that timeline. They've never come out and redefined the timeline as they've done in some cases. They've done it recently in the Cody Bigsby case from Hampton, Virginia. That little lad is still missing as well. So to me, it says they're only looking at the 15th of June. And because they're saying she's nearby, or most likely nearby, I think they're saying that in the absence of any other information that tells them contrary. So it means she made it home, in my opinion. So I think in saying little, it says a lot. As in, we should put the ideas that she died earlier that day, or she died on a day other than the 15th of June. I want to see those theories put to bed, because reading between the lines here, I think that's what Detective Pruitt is saying. That she's nearby her home. Now, how nearby, we don't know. You know, the searchers, the 3 searches they've done, you know, that really intense one in June. Then they went back at the end of November, beginning of December. Then they went back a few weeks ago and just spread out a little bit further. It's still all within 2 miles of her home, if not less. They said 4.6 square miles. The main focus is that she's wandered off, gone playing and got lost. Now, if she's literally just wandered off and been able to get through all the briars easily, it's easy for a little kid to wander a good couple of miles before they know they're lost and they succumb. So if they think that, why aren't they going further out? Why aren't they branching further out than the radius that they've done so far? Maybe they will. But in saying that there's no evidence of an abduction, well, what evidence would there be? You know, like, I guess things like dropping items of clothing would be one. Sightings would be another. Interestingly, you didn't mention the red Toyota Tacoma. So, is that still in play or not? I've never put much store by that, to be honest, because whoever reported it in wasn't even sure what day they'd seen it. You know, Jodie Sue seeing a flash of a red vehicle going up the driveway. I don't think Hawkins County are setting much store by those things. Doesn't seem that they are. Or else I think they would have appealed again for information about trucks in the area. But this is a very rural area, so in the Beach Creek area, the only surveillance probably that they have is things like trail cameras. And even though Sheriff Ronnie Lawson appealed for people to search their own properties and check the trail cams again and again, it doesn't mean to say that they have done. Because even though they're saying there's no evidence of abduction, what they mean is there's no evidence, he actually said the words, there's no evidence of her being abducted and being trafficked out of the area. But it doesn't mean to say that she couldn't have been taken near her home. It doesn't say that, because that kind of abduction is not going to leave any trace, because, you know, she wasn't wearing shoes, so it's not like she'd have dropped a shoe. It's not like she was wearing, let's say, a cardigan or a shawl or something that would fall off. If someone literally just grabbed her while she was playing out, what evidence would there be? But it would have to be someone very local. And it would have to be someone who hasn't raised suspicions from things like electronic data, because what they can do with cell data is take specific towers, cell towers, and look at all the activity from that tower and look for an unusual activity from that tower. Now, someone who is in the local area who wants to take a child, you're not going to take your cell phone with you, are you? You're not, are you? If you're just wandering around, perhaps has seen summer before, you're wandering around and you spy a chance. If you were out with that in mind and you were just a lone perv, for want of a better word, you wouldn't take your cell phone with you, so there wouldn't be any evidence, would there? But what do you guys think about them saying that nothing's come of the cell data, the GPS data? Has Don's 7 alibis and his good buddy Starlink paid off? Well, they haven't cleared the parents, have they? They haven't come out and said that they've cleared the parents, which leads me to think that they're still on the table. And it circles me back to, why are they telling us this now? Is it to shake up certain people? You know, they're saying, yes, your cell data's checked out, your good buddy Starlink alibi is checked out, but you're still not cleared and everything's still on the table. Because if you leave your cell phone at home at certain times in the day, it looks like you're at home, doesn't it, Candice? Until you decide to go and play at looking for her. Don, yeah, your alibi's checked out. But it doesn't mean to say that you weren't just that bit cleverer. So for me, when he says everything's still on the table, the aim of this is to ruffle feathers. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sorry about the wind. I know it's been bad, so I'll bid you farewell. It's goodbye from her, goodbye from her, and goodbye from that person there who's just like standing like a lemon, probably waiting for me to go. All right, bye guys.